Hello and welcome back to the sixth and the final episode of Ruby Relates 2024. But don't worry, we'll be back midway through January in the new year for a whole new brand of Ruby Relates. Could you just state your name and who you are before we start, please?
My name is Cindy Gamba and I live in Bolton and I represent the Refugee Olympic team in the Paris 2024 Olympic.
And how did you first get into boxing? What made you go down this particular path?
Well, I started boxing when I was 15 years old in a youth club because I was part of a youth club called Bolton Lads and Girls Club in Bolton, and they had in the youth club they had different type of activity and different type of sport for kids to get involved in sport and to get involved in the community and to get involved into learning about new things about themselves and what career pathway they wanted to take as they got a bit older, and to keep them off the street. Really, that's what youth clubs are all about, really. And downstairs they had the female football team, and I started in the female football team, and I got a bit bored with the training, so I saw a group of boys coming out of a room. There was flame behind their back and they were sweating, so I thought, this seems to be very interesting. I wonder where they just came out of. So I followed the door where they came out of, and it was a boxing gym. I remember the day when I opened the door, I got hit straight away with like the most horrible smell, sweat, the most horrible sweat smell, and people were punching the bag, hitting the pads and sparring and skipping and doing exercise. And I remember it was just boys in there, and I thought, wow, this is very interesting. This is something I want to try. I want to have a go, and from being 15 to where I am right now, yeah.
Was there a lot of girls that went with you to the gym? Like, was it you and friends that went, or was it just you that just got involved?
It was very, very much me, to be honest. I mean, when I was little, I didn't really have that much friend, and most of the friends that I had were like boys. I think I was just a girl. I felt like I clicked a bit more with boys, and because I was more into sport at that time. There was not a lot of girls into sport, and most of the girls that would come in the gym, they were more younger than me, but they would come once or twice, and then they won't show up again.
No, definitely. And have you had your "I've made it" moment? Like, have you been there? Like, yeah, I am like an Olympic sports winner.
I think from the moment where it actually hit me, where I thought, I made it, was when I beat the French girl in the Paris Olympic, and I secured myself a bronze medal. That was kind of like, wow, this dream of mine for many years, ever since I started boxing, has actually come true. Obviously, just me being present in the village at the Olympic was kind of like, I've already made it, because not a lot of people qualify for the Olympic and get to go to the Olympic. But for me, the real moment was kind of when I beat the French boxer for my bronze medal.
And how was that process of finding out that you've got into the Olympics? Was it a phone call? Did someone come and tell you? And how did you feel in that moment?
It was kind of like unreal moment. Obviously, I already knew that I had already qualified for the Olympic, but obviously I still had to be chosen to represent the Refugee Olympic team for the Olympic. And to receive the phone call and for my name to be said by the IOC president was something amazing and something out of this world that I would have never thought would ever happen. I remember when I joined the refugee organization, I was a scholarship holder. I wasn't very much representing the refugee team at that time, but for my name to be said out loud and said that I would have been able to represent the refugee team in the Olympic and compete for my sport was an honor, and it was out of this world, and it was an amazing thing to hear.
Amazing. And have you had like a lot of issues getting to that point, or has it been pretty smooth sailing, or how was your journey leading up?
What do you mean by that?
So like, have you had any problems like with training? Has there been moments you wanted to give up? Have people made an impact on you, or has that motivated you more?
I think for me, really, it was, I had a moment where I don't, not a moment that I wanted to give up, but a moment where I felt like I was always drained, and there's a moment where I felt like, I wanted to keep on going. And the moment where I felt like I was, I just felt drained was because I was pushing my body to the limit. Pushing yourself, when you push yourself to the limit, you start questioning certain things and you start kind of doubting yourself a bit. But I think it depends on the team that you have around you, and also moment where you most feel motivated is when you understand that who you're representing and what you're about to go and do, and for yourself and for the refugee team and for my family and my loved ones, and also for Bolton. Remember, I'm just a small girl from Bolton. I remember I came to the UK in Bolton mainly when I was 11 years old, and who would have thought that a Bolton girl that came in Bolton at 11 years old would have gone and represented the refugee and Bolton and Great Britain in the Olympic. And I've had some difficulty, mainly from my point of view on how I felt like people view refugees in refugee in the Olympic. That people think that refugees just go and participate and just take part and just hope for the best, and they don't really have goals or aims to achieve. And I felt like there was not a lot of advertisement and given to the refugees all around the world, not just in sport. So I kind of had understood that what I had to go out there and do, not only for the refugee, for myself too, mainly for my first, but then mainly for myself, but for my achievement, I would have been representing many key things.
Amazing. And what advice would you give to someone who's feeling the same way that you did, or going through the same sort of process, and they want to push themselves, but they are starting to kind of give up or doubt themselves or overthink? What advice got you through it?
Well, one advice that I would tell anyone that is going through a hard moment, and they have to go through the same barriers and same struggle that I had to go through, and they're finding it hard a bit, is to keep on working hard, keep your head down, and believe in yourself. I think that's the most important thing that us as athlete to the elite level, or any other athlete or any human out there struggle with, is always believe in yourself and having a balance of understanding that you're going to have up and down days, and your emotions are going to be all over the place, and that's normal, that's human, but it's to do with how you bring yourself back up and you strive through. And for me, I always believed in myself, and I knew my capability, and also I worked hard. So I worked hard, very, very hard. I pushed my body to the limit, to the point where I felt like there's no way that my opponent will ever take me to that, that moment again. Because if I was able, and even if they do, I'll be able to handle myself, because I know how hard I worked for it.
Amazing. And would you say it's quite like a solo sport? Like, did you feel quite alone for a lot of it, or did you feel that more sense of community with it and people coming together? Like, how did you feel while just training day to day?
Not at all. I never felt alone. Listen, I had my teammate, my elite GB boxing, Great Britain boxing teammate, and all of us, we went to the Olympic together, and some of them didn't really win no medal. And it's a family sport, I have Great Britain supporting me. I have my team, my coaches by my side. I have my town, and I have my coach's town, Halliwell ABC, supporting me. And I have my coach, my very first coach, Dave Langom, by my side. I have a big family, even though it's a very much individual sport. Once you get in that ring, you're not only getting in the ring and only fighting for yourself, fighting for people in your corner, because even though I have thousands of people watching me and screaming at me and cheering for me, the only people that I can hear in my corner, I can hear are my coaches, my coaches on my corner telling me what to do and telling me what instruction I should follow. So it's a very much team sport, even though when you think about boxing, you think about it's an individual sport. The only person that's getting in that ring is the boxer, but it's a team sport at the end of the day.
Amazing. And how did you feel with the gym and where you trained and all of that? How are the facilities? How are the people and everything? Like, what were the pros and cons of being there?
It was amazing. I joined GB Boxing. We trained at the English Institute 3.5 years ago, and they welcomed me with open arm, and UK Sport took me with open arm, and Lottery took me with open arm, and the whole team, coaches and the staff in GB Boxing in the English Institute took me with open arms, and they took care of me. They saw something in me that I had already seen in me, and they believed that I can achieve greatness through working hard and pushing myself. And they cleaned a bit my skills a bit, because they cleaned my skill a bit and gave me as many experience as possible. But me traveling all around the world and getting as much training camp, sharing the ring with the best of the best to get me prepared for the Olympic, and going all around the world competing with international boxers. And I trained very hard in the English Institute with my older teammate, and I can say that we had the best facilities needed for the elite boxers.
Amazing. And what are some of your 2025 goals within your career?
My 2025 goal within my career will be turning pro. I'm turning pro, and hopefully I can have my debut at the beginning of next year. And just be happy and healthy, man. That I'm a simple girl. I'm a very, very simple person, and as long as I keep on working hard and I keep on just being the real Cindy as I've always been, even before the Olympic, I feel like everything will go well.
And talk to us about the process of turning pro. How do you get there? What do you need to do? Do you need to work harder or just keep up what you're doing now? What sort of level are we talking for pro?
Well, the same thing. It's really the same thing. Nothing will change, really. I think the only thing that will change, really, mainly is just having to not always be, as they say, in camp. So I get like a good period of 12 week where I have a fight day and I just get ready for the fight. And then through that, after I fight, I can go and rest and wait until I get another day to fight. There's a lot that goes into place when it comes to the professional side compared to amateur, because I was an amateur boxer. I'm still an amateur boxer. I've not signed a contract here, but when you turn pro, you have to, turn over with a promoter, or it can be like Sky Sport, Matchroom, or most of these promoters are like Ben Shalom or Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren, or and it's to do with who you're gonna go with, who's gonna offer you the right contract for who wants the best for you and who's not just going to use you. And and I have a good coach. I have a good coach and good team by my side, and I have a lot of support from the injury boxing. They've always been there for my side, and I trust them. And also you gotta understand that the Olympic was a big goal of mine ever since I started boxing. So all I knew was I want to go to Olympic and win a medal. So now that I've achieved that, and I've not really achieved what I wanted. I wanted a gold medal, but I didn't manage to get a gold medal. But you gotta appreciate certain things, and you gotta know that everything happened for a reason. So a lot of people ask me, does that mean you're gonna go and get revenge in 2028? And you never know. It is what anything can happen. It is what it is. The world is my oyster, and I'm just going into every direction as I can, as possible. I can go and do what I want. I'm my own boss, and I make the decision. And so whatever decision in whatever time, 6 months or 1 year, I decide to change my mind. You never know what can happen. So I'm excited for what is to come in a couple of months and years.
And that's amazing. It's amazing how much control and say you do have into it, and how much it is up to you at the end of the day. But what would you say to yourself, like the 15-year-old you who's just kind of walked into that gym and been hit with that smell of BO and everything, going in, wanting to improve and this is going to be my future. What would you say to them about what you know now?
What I would tell myself, as a 15-year-old girl, when she first opened the door of the gym and saw that sweat, all that flame, all them boys in the gym, and I remember looking at my coach Dave Langone, even the old school coach. He never believed in female boxing. He never believed that female should box, And now I now have a bit of laugh with him from time to time, and I say, look at me now. I've gone to Olympic and I won a medal, so you can't really say that about female. But he's just very old school coach, but he's very proud of me, and he's always been very hard on me, very, very disciplined with me, and every time when I win, I remember when I used to have my competition fight and I used to win, and I always used to go and run to him and hoping that he's gonna and tell me that you did really well that, and I go and tell him I won, and he's like, yeah, you could have done better, and I used to just swallow my spit and be like, and just walk away. But what I would tell my young self at 15-year-old would be, it would be hard. It would be very, very hard. But just understand that you are very strong and you're very determined. And one that I've always been is, as a child, I grew up around loads of boys, loads of my siblings. They used to beat me up. And I used to be naughty, and I used to have a fight with them, and they beat me up, and I go and cry, and I go again to get beat up. But basically what I'm trying to say is, every time when you tell me I can't do something, I'll prove it to you that I can do it. And even if I don't succeed in it, deep down myself, I know that I gave my all, and I've gave what my capability of what I could achieve in it. And that's the thing with boxing. Really, it was very, very hard, and it's still going to be hard. But one thing about me is I'm always going to give my all, and I'm always going to try my all. And one thing I would tell my young self is, always try your best and give your all, and anything can happen, and that's okay, that's fine.
So would you say one of your best and core values is your perseverance and that you just keep going and going and going?
Yes, it is. It is actually that. It's actually that. And I think anyone that has that mindset like me, you should stay away from them.
And what would you give like a girl who's starting up boxing, who wants to get to that level, like who isn't necessarily you say when you were 15, but just someone who wants to improve, or not just boxing, just any sport and just wants to improve and just go, go, go?
Well, I would tell anyone that want to take boxing to try it out and just help them in any ways possible would be like boxing has helped me mentally and physically. I first started, I was a shy girl. I didn't know how to express myself, and I always kept quiet, and I didn't want to disturb people, and I didn't want people to hear who I was or hear about myself. And it helped me. It helped me for my community to support me, and helped me for my town to know me. It helped me. I got so many opportunities, and some people helped me, and so many people saw so many saw my future before I was able to see what I could achieve, and some people believed in what I could achieve before I could believe what I was able to achieve. And I used to be very sad, and I used to be very depressed, and boxing helped me through that. And it showed me something that I didn't know I had in myself. I never knew that I can be a boxer. I never knew that I can take it further in my career, and help create a life for myself. And I met so many amazing people. I met so many amazing people from all around the world. So many stories, and it makes you appreciate, and it keeps you humble for what you have, and it makes you appreciate your life, and it makes you appreciate where you're based at, where you live at, and who you have in your life. And it brought me closer with my family, and it brought me closer with many other people. So boxing changed my life, and I just want to tell them people that boxing will change your life in many ways.
Amazing. And what does a daily week look like for you? Like, what's an average week for you, day in the life? How many times are you at the gym? Is your diet very strict? What's your daily life like?
I mean, when I'm just taking over, really, the percentage of my training is not very much high. But when I'm back into training camp and I'm getting ready for a fight, I'm in Sheffield Monday till Thursdays. Or Monday till Fridays, or depending if there's like a bank holiday, then we're in Tuesday till Friday. But I train 3 times a day. My first session is running. We always run in the morning at half 7 in the morning, and the type of running that we do is more explosive and more quick, because that's my style. I'm more explosive and I'm more quick, and I think everyone knows that the more quicker you are, the power will just come naturally. My second session is usually pads or bags. My last session is usually sparring. Sparring is like boxing, but just practice. We're not actually trying to hurt each other. And then that's why I just do that 5 or 4 times a day. And then the next day I have my strength and condition. Sometimes I have strength and condition twice a week, and I run 3 times a week. I do boxing about 5 times a week, or maybe 7 times or 8 times a week. And I come back home on the weekend and I rest a bit, and I go back again to Sheffield to train again.
Wow, that's a lot of training.
My nutrition is not very strict, because for me, I've always inclined. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm more of a foodie. I'm not a very big fan of sweet, but I like food. Obviously, I have to control my portions sometimes, but I think everyone have to control their portions sometimes. When you're an athlete and you're going in the ring with elite level, and you want to be competing at your best of your best, you have to make sure you're a bit disciplined with what you eat and what you put in your system.
Yeah, amazing. And what is there anything else you have to say to like anyone? Any advice, any feedback, anything like you want to share an experience?
Well, I just want to tell people that one thing I've always been told, and one that I've learned the hard way, is you don't know it all. When I first started boxing, and I go out and I compete and I lose my fight, my coach would tell me, you could have done this better, that, and I would argue and be like, no, I did that, this. And one thing is, like, I learned the hard way when I went into Poland last year for my first qualification, and I didn't qualify and I missed out. That was because I was just being stubborn, and I was only listening to what I thought I knew best, and I was not listening to my coaches. And basically what I'm trying to say is, I tell people, one one advice I tell people is don't act like you know it all. No one knows it all. I still don't know it all, and I'm sure people that are even higher than all of us will say they don't know it all. And we're living in this world where we're learning every day, we're improving every day, and there's loads of things, good and bad, that happen in this world. And every day is a learning day. So always be open-minded about everything.
Amazing. And if you decide, say tomorrow you wake up and you decide you don't want to go to the next Olympics, you're happy with your medal, that's you, do you think you'll still carry on this like strict training? Do you think you'll still have to go to the gym for your own mental well-being?
100%. If I decide to drop boxing and I decide to drop turning pro and decide to drop anything to do with like my career was within what I decide, I think I will still be training. I will still be going to the gym because it's like it's like my meditation. It's my medicine. It's kind of like something that I have to do. If I don't do it during the day, then I feel like I lose myself. When I first started training, doing exercise, was mainly for my mental health. You know, I was a shy little girl. I used to weigh 110 kg, and I dropped a massive amount of weight, and I was just sad, and I was just miserable, and I just couldn't. I didn't understand what was the worth of living. So to exercise, and I was able to learn about what I was capable to do, and how I felt fresh and how I felt good about myself mentally and physically. So I don't think I will ever stop exercising or moving my body because I enjoy it. It's fun, and I feel real. I feel myself, and I feel alive.
And do you have any rituals or routines or anything like that that you have to do before you get out there, and like to calm yourself or to hype yourself up? Or
I do. Every day I wake up, and before I go to bed I do my cross, and when I wake up I do my cross. I pray, and then I stretch in the morning. After I stretch, and I drink ginger tea to just clean my throat a bit, and then I'm ready to go, ready to train. And I have a shower, and then I brush my teeth, obviously, and then I'm ready to attack the day.
The basic humans, you know,
yeah.
Shower, and brush your teeth.
I just gotta put it out there. You never know.
And yeah, what about before like a fight or before you get out there, like for the Olympics? Yeah. How did you feel in that moment before stepping out?
I had word search. I did word search before the Olympic and before the qualifier, before I go on my competition, or before I start getting my hand wrapped and getting warmed up. I do my word search. It calms me down and it keeps me in the zone, and my brain is not all over the place. And I think it's normal. I think for any athlete that's going out there to compete or is going out there to, you can get a bit too much in your brain. And for me, doing a word search, it helps me to kind of have it put me at peace, and it gets me in my mindset, get me ready to. I know what I'm doing, and I know what I have to stick to the plan. So that's my routine really. And then as I go on the stage and they say my name out loud, and I'm ready to rumble.
Ready to go then. Well, amazing. Thank you so much for today. We really appreciate this interview. Is there anything you'd like to say before we close up?
I just want to thank you guys for having me. I just want to thank Salford University Media City for having me, and then giving me the opportunity and the platform to kind of talk about a bit of my story and what I've achieved and what I will achieve in the future, and talk a bit about myself and Team Bolton.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, it's been our pleasure to have you on today, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And it has been slightly different, but hopefully similar to where we started off and everything. And I hope you have all enjoyed Ruby Relates so far in 2024. And I can't wait to be back and talking in 2025. So thank you all so much for the love and support this year. And I can officially say, we'll see you next year.